Washington wary of Chinese businesses' security concerns are motivating lawmakers to toughen up on China-based companies. Amid tough talk from President Donald Trump about the United States' trade relationship with China, Washington is casting a suspicious eye toward Chinese businesses for a reason beyond mere economic imbalance. Citing two congressional aides, Reuters on Tuesday reported some members of Congress have national security concerns related to a greater presence of Huawei technologies in the U.S. market and have urged U.S. telecom AT&T to distance itself from the Chinese phone manufacturer. Huawei had previously agreed to work with AT&T in arenas including 5G wireless connectivity research, which may prove particularly problematic in the eyes of lawmakers given the degree to which the U.S. is likely to rely on 5G wireless technology in the years ahead. Members of Congress also are reportedly warning American companies that doing business with Huawei or China Mobile Limited, the world's largest mobile operator, could hurt their ability to lock down a government contract in the U.S. going forward. The news comes just a week after AT&T, the world's largest telecom company, torpedoed a smartphone deal with Huawei, which sits among the world's top three smartphone producers with Samsung and Apple. That move came shortly before the two companies were set to make a major announcement at the 2018 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Huawei had already taken out considerable advertising space around SimCity for product that AT&T was expected to begin selling. But the deal was called off at the last minute, with neither company offering much of an explanation. It's believed, however, that security concerns factored into the deal's collapse, as the New York Times reported a cadre of lawmakers relayed to the Federal Communications Commission their concerns about a deal between an unnamed U.S. telecom and Huawei. Lawmakers have long been concerned about Chinese espionage in general, and Huawei's role in that espionage in particular, the lawmakers wrote to the FCC, according to the Times. Congressional concerns over Chinese telecommunications companies aren't new. In fact, Huawei in 2012 found itself alongside China-based telecom ZTE at the heart of a congressional investigation related to whether their equipment posed an espionage risk to the American government. One of American lawmakers' primary concerns at the time was that the Chinese government would be able to access information obtained from Huawei or ZTE products within the U.S. Congressional investigators said both companies were uncooperative and failed to provide evidence that would satisfy any fair and full investigation. As such, they recommended that risks associated with Huawei's and ZTE's provision of equipment to U.S. critical infrastructure could undermine core U.S. national security interests. Huawei has repeatedly denied insinuations that it would share sensitive U.S. data with the Chinese government, but lawmakers haven't relented. The Defending U.S. Government Communications Act was introduced in the House last week by Representative Mike Conaway, R. Texas, and would bar the U.S. government from purchasing equipment or services from either Huawei or ZTE. Chinese commercial technology is a vehicle for the Chinese government to spy on United States federal agencies, posing a severe national security threat, Conaway said in a statement. This is extremely dangerous because the Chinese government is trying to compromise the integrity of U.S. businesses and spy on our closely held national security secrets. Lawmakers' pressure on AT&T also represents just the latest in a recent string of more hardline regulation from the U.S. as it relates to Sino-American commerce. A U.S. government panel recently blocked Alibaba affiliate Ant Financial's proposed acquisition of U.S.-based MoneyGram International, with concerns about the security of data that could identify U.S. citizens, reportedly a sticking point during the review. Shortly afterward, Chinese state media warned that Beijing and Washington are in for a bumpy journey in trade in 2018 if the U.S. continues to go its own way, and that retaliatory measures by China could be on the table. Rhetoric from Trump, likewise, may be souring on China. Trump was a regular critic of Chinese trade practices while out on the campaign trail, and has previously taken issue with the idea of China buying its way into the U.S. market before he took office, warning that Beijing was taking our jobs, taking our wealth and taking our base as he discussed Chinese investors' plans to acquire the Chicago Stock Exchange. Yet Trump, who has sought to put pressure on China to rein in North Korea's nuclear pursuits, also has seemed to soften on Beijing at times, particularly after meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping last year and setting up a symbolic 100-day trade window during which the two countries hope to iron out some of their differences. Trump and Xi reportedly spoke on the phone Monday, with the White House saying the pair discussed relations between North and South Korea, and that Trump made clear his displeasure with the U.S. trade deficit with China. Whether that displeasure results in any more government intervention in Chinese-American business dealings remains to be seen, but the administration and Washington lawmakers don't appear eager to ease up on Beijing just yet. "We hope that China and the United States can work hard together to maintain the healthy and stable development of trade and business ties. This accords with the joint interests of both," Liu Kang, a spokesman for China's foreign ministry, said Tuesday during a news briefing in Beijing, according to Reuters.